All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good crypto news stuff for you today, and it's not going to be an entirely long one because I've been talking all day, and I think my voice is going to go anytime soon. Now, I apologize for not making any videos for a while. I've been doing a lot of other stuff, but this is definitely something I want to talk about pretty fast here. So Craig Wright rains lawsuits on prominent crypto enthusiasts over libelous and abusive tweets. So Craig Wright is at it again, except on steroids this time. This is something we haven't actually seen from Craig Wright since he basically called himself Satoshi. So strap into your seats and prepare for this one. So Craig Wright, computer scientist, self-proclaimed creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, is fake Toshi, has been serving people with legal notices for harassing him with tweets or comments. The barrage of lawsuits began with HODLNOT, a Twitter user who seemed to have started the hashtag Craig Wright is a fraud. Wright continued to serve more legal notices to several others like Peter McCormack and Ethereum's Vitalik Buterin. So Peter McCormack, host of What Bitcoin Did podcast, got a legal notice from Craig Wright's lawyers detailing a couple tweets by McCormack where he called Craig Wright a fraud. The letter stated, "We strongly suggest that you take legal advice upon the contents of this letter, which is written in compliance with the pre-action protocol for defamation applicable to claims in the High Court of England and Wales." Whoa. The letter stated that McCormack's tweets were libelous, abusive, and defamatory. The letter, which required McCormack to delete all tweets and other online or other publications in which you allege that our client, Craig Wright, had fraudulently claimed to be Satoshi Nakamoto. Moreover, the letter also asked McCormack to not repeat the same again, be it on Twitter or any other platform. Wright also expected McCormack to apologize to him in open court and acknowledge the falsity of his allegations. So, first of all, whoa. I don't think you actually just apologize in open court. Like, you don't go down to the local courthouse and be like, "Hey, what you doing here today?" And you're like, "I would like to rent a courtroom so I can do an open apology." I don't think we do that here. Would you like to do that anywhere else? We got stuff to do at the courthouse. I don't think that's how that works. But anyway, so this gets really ridiculous. So McCormack replied to the letter in a series of tweets. And this is what he got. These are just some of the most ridiculous things. So let's see. On April 29th, you repeated that I would like to formally state that I, Craig Wright, is not Satoshi. Craig Wright is a fraud. And 3, I hope many people retweet this as soon as possible. So this is just showing some of his tweets. And some of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard is in here. So number 1, your assurance that you will preserve all documents, including electronic messages, draft notes, and other electronic materials that may be relevant to this matter. So first of all, he wants him to delete all of his tweets and things like that that call Craig Wright a fraud, but you will preserve all the documents. Yeah, I'll wipe my nasty behind with those documents, but not going to preserve them. You can fish them out of the septic tank if you want, though. Number 2, you're undertaking to delete all tweets and other online or other publications in which you allege that our client had fraudulently claimed to be Satoshi. So preserve all documents, including electronic messages, draft notes, etc., but delete all tweets or other online publications. How do you do that exactly? Anyway, number 3, you're undertaking not to repeat those allegations, whether on Twitter. Your agreement to tweet an apology to our clients in the terms below. And your agreement to join in a statement in open court in which you apologize to our client and falsify the allegations. And here's what you're supposed to say. Here's literally a literal actual document of what you're supposed to say. And this is how you're supposed to apologize to Dr. Craig Wright. This is like hitting somebody in school and then the teacher making you apologize. Here it is, literally. I was wrong to allege Craig Wright fraudulently claimed to be Satoshi. I accept he is Satoshi. I am sorry, Dr. Wright. I will not repeat this libel. Oh my God. It's pretty clear at this point that Dr. Wright, that Craig Wright is actually it does actually have mental problems. Somebody doesn't actually write that. So, but basically by apologizing, you accept that he is Satoshi. And I am sorry, Dr. Wright. This is something a 5-year-old would write and would want as an apology. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry that you took my toy. I am sorry, blah blah blah. Like this is serious mental illness here. This is actual mental illness. This isn't even me just like trying to bash somebody. This is actual mental illness that, like, by apologizing, you have to give up the right to not call him Satoshi. Wow. Wow. So Peter McCormack received support from the community in the form of donations, indicating that the crypto community was coming together to support McCormack. I also read somebody was a lawyer and was saying, "Hell, offer my services to you." To support McCormack and HODLNOT. The former asked his supporters to redirect their donations to the crowdfunding campaign to set up for HODLNOT. So Binance CEO CZ also had an opinion on the steps taken by Air and Craig Wright. He tweeted, "Craig Wright is not Satoshi." This is from CZ from Binance. This is amazing. "Craig Wright is not Satoshi. Any more of this, yeah, we delist." So they're threatening to delist Bitcoin SV if Craig Wright doesn't stop this nonsense. This is total nonsense at this point. This is absolutely outrageous. Sending people legal documents that you're going to sue them that says that you're sorry and that he is Satoshi Nakamoto. That's something a 5-year-old dude. This is serious mental illness here. This is actually mental illness if he thoroughly believes that he is Satoshi Nakamoto. And also Craig Wright's being sued for, 1 million Bitcoin essentially from Dave Kleiman, who some, again, I don't really want to get into the debate, some believe that was one of the developers of Bitcoin. And it is true that Craig Wright and Dave Kleiman knew each other. Now, I'm not trying to say that Craig Wright had something to do with it, but I think he knew. I think if anything, he knew that Craig Wright, he knew that Craig Wright knew that Dave Kleiman mined a lot of Bitcoin, and perhaps maybe, let's just say maybe, also worked with Hal Finney, probably maybe, and with Satoshi, and then tried to forge the Bitcoin Tulip Trust document to steal all of Dave Kleiman's Bitcoin. That he had mined early on, whether he was Satoshi or not, he had mined a bunch of Bitcoin. So a whole fiasco is going to come from that. So here's my opinion on this even further. So you can't claim that something is libel if it's true about somebody. So if somebody says something insanely ridiculous about me in a newspaper, or and they say that like I was a murderer, or I do this, or I do evil things, right? And I don't do that. I could sue them for libel. And at best, I could say, okay, you have to take down this publication or retract it, right? If found to be untrue about me. But I can't really sue for money unless they specifically affect my monetary income in some way, or a business deal I was working on or something like that. And then the business that I was going to deal with, I was going to make thousands of dollars or something. And then they were like, no, we don't want to deal business with you because we read about you in the newspaper. And it was blatantly false. That's libel. But here's the thing with Craig Wright is that if you say as a tweet or in a newspaper or in an article that Craig Wright is a fraud and that he is not Satoshi Nakamoto, that means if he takes you to court, he has to prove that he is Satoshi Nakamoto. Then it would be libel, and you'd be like, well, I guess I was wrong, you know what I mean? Then it would be kind of libel, right? But probably not many monetary damages done to him, in my opinion. But so that's just the thing, is that if he went to court, he knows that he has to prove that he's Satoshi Nakamoto. And if he's not Satoshi Nakamoto, he can't do that. So this is all just poof, steam coming out from Craig Wright, because he's clearly some kind of mental illness. I'm not a psychiatrist, but whoa, that's really weird. That 5-year-old apology, that's whoa. Okay, as an adult, I could write a much better. That's shady. So again, no libel if it's true. It's not libel if it's true. If you get arrested and you were you robbed a bank, right? And they put in the newspaper, local man robs a bank. That's not libel. You actually did it, right? That might harm you socially, right? Because everybody knows you're a bank robber now, right? But that's true, right? It's actually true. But if if a newspaper wrote something, this is just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Oh my God, I can't even handle it. This is actually true. This is actually happening. This is a real world we're living in. It's amazing. Anyway, next article here. People only want to buy Bitcoin after the price rises, Google data shows. Yeah, I've been saying this for about 2 years on my channel, that as soon as the price starts to go up, then the price goes up further, and people want to buy in at 16,000, 17,000, and then the price gets to 2,000, then goes down to 3,000. Then everyone wants to say it was a scam because they bought in at 16,000 instead of buying at 5,000 2 months before. And then the price goes down to what was the low that we got at? Something like 3,300. Let's just go with that. 3,300 low of Bitcoin. And nobody wants to buy in. Nobody wants to buy in, right? They're like, oh, it's crashing. Nobody wants to buy in. It's the perfect time to buy in. That's when you're going to get the most Bitcoin. $3,300 will buy you one whole Bitcoin. Now, it takes $5,000 to buy one whole Bitcoin. Whoops, guess you missed that train. I've been saying that for a long time. But anyway, Google now confirms, so now it's a real thing. If I say it's not a real thing, but if Google says it, it's a real thing. The interest in buying Bitcoin appears to lag the cryptocurrency's price rise. A closer look to trending searches through the past month reveals that the phrase buy Bitcoin tends to increase in interest only after the price of Bitcoin has actually increased. Really good investors, guys. Really good investment. Buy on the green. Yeah, buy on the green and then sell way after it has already dipped. Good job, guys. Data from Google Trends reveals that volumes of the search term buy Bitcoin in the past month have increased only after the price has moved upwards. As seen in the chart, the interest in the phrase peaked on April 3rd, hitting a score of 100 on Google Trends. This is the peak popularity for this particular term in the selected period. On the same day, Bitcoin was trading around 5,300, which marked a considerable increase from around 26% 2 days earlier when it was at 4,200, as you can see right there. Oh, wow. Look at that. Now everybody's talking about it. So if you're one of these people, it's okay. It's okay. Don't get me wrong. But this is not how you invest. Like buy it when it's really, really low. Like if it super crashes, that's a super opportunity for you. Super crash, super opportunity. Super rise, try not to buy at that point, unless you absolutely have to. Okay, so like if it's going up in price, it was already going to go up in price. Everybody already said that when it was down to 3,300. Everyone was like, just hodl, just keep buying more. Everybody said it, but most people just didn't listen, and they just kept selling. Anyway. Silly news day. Moving on, Julian Assange receives nearly 30K in Bitcoin donations since his arrest. So Julian Assange, who had been living in the Ecuadorian embassy in London for 7 years, I think since 2012, if I'm not mistaken, was arrested Thursday morning after the country's president rescinded the WikiLeaks' founder's asylum status. And I think they rescinded it because probably there's a lot of pressure from the rest of the world, and probably didn't want to deal business deals with Ecuador because, hey, you got Julian Assange in your London embassy. It was probably a lot of pressure on them. But they also said that he wouldn't take care of his cat anymore and take care of the litter box. And then they also said that guess this is true. They also said that he didn't take care of the bathroom as well. So apparently he didn't clean up the bathroom or take care of his cat, and so they got angry at that because they basically have a homeless looking man. And I'm not trying to bash Julian Assange, don't get me wrong, but he had a big beard. He kind of looked like a homeless guy, and with a dirty bathroom and a cat running around with a dirty litter box, probably wasn't a good embassy, you know what I mean, for Ecuador there. So I guess I don't blame him with a basically homeless man squatting in your embassy for 7 years. So Assange's eviction caused an uproar across the globe. Interestingly enough, a lot of the mainstream media in the United States are actually defending Julian Assange, and I don't blame them. Of course, I defend Julian Assange as well. I don't think he's a computer hacker. He's just a disseminator of information, i.e. a journalist. And I think he used to be a cypherpunk back in the day, but either way, they're trying to charge him with computer hacking, which he just didn't do. He received information and then disseminated it, which, I don't know, charge him with that, but not computer hacking. And a lot of the mainstream media, like I said, in the United States are actually defending him, which is really crazy because it's just usually not the case. You can see, it's like CNN and Fox News and ABC and stuff like that, and they're actually defending Julian Assange, and so is the United Nations as well. Assange's eviction caused uproar. WikiLeaks editor-in-chief Kristen Ranson, got nothing, and Edward Snowden both said the arrest marks a day for press freedom. And personalities who regularly support Assange and WikiLeaks by exposing corruption by governments and top-level organizations rallied people to donate to WikiLeaks' defense fund. And in fact, just a little tidbit, Satoshi Nakamoto did not like Bitcoin going to WikiLeaks or the Silk Road. In fact, one of Satoshi's last ever messages was he was trying to tell the Bitcoin developers that he basically gave the keys to that he doesn't really like the negative press of Bitcoin funding WikiLeaks and Bitcoin funding the Silk Road, and that they should sort of change that to, like that negative press and turn it like into how all the Bitcoin developers are doing such a good job. He was very paranoid, and he didn't like the negative press that Bitcoin was getting. So it currently accepts Bitcoin, Zcash, as well as traditional payments, including bank cards and even cash or check. As Bitcoin reported yesterday, the wallet address for Bitcoin donations jumped to a balance of 2.61, with around 20 transactions occurring moments after Assange's arrest over the past 24 hours, to nearly 140 more donations were received. In total press time now, it's 7.94 Bitcoin, about $31,000. So people are using it as free speech money. Julian Assange had previously shown his support for Bitcoin despite some previous opposition from the industry itself. In April 2018, U.S. cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase suspended WikiLeaks' use of its services, as I actually noted on in my channel back then. In turn, WikiLeaks accused the San Francisco-based crypto exchange of ulterior, I promise I got it right, political motives and obeying a concealed influence. It called for a boycott of it. So right now, yeah, they're trying to bust Julian Assange. They took him out of the Ecuadorian embassy for the first time out of 7 years, since like 2012, and now they're trying to get him for this, that, and the other thing. People are talking about the death penalty for Julian Assange because, like, as a spy, and the United Nations is getting in on it and trying to defend him, and a lot of media and a lot of people. So, WikiLeaks Defense Fund, I suppose, if you want to join in on that. But moving on, I want to talk about DLive here real quick. I know there's some interesting GIFs in the corner. So DLive is a new cryptocurrency, or a blockchain streaming platform. It has a cryptocurrency. It's more like a website token though, Lino. So I wouldn't call it so much of a cryptocurrency coin as more of a token. And I've been streaming on this a lot lately. The quality is really, really good. I like it a lot better than BitTube. I didn't care for BitTube at all. So if you want to catch me streaming just about every day, particularly this next coming up week late at night, my schedule is in the description below here, but it's DLive.tv/MrSotko. If you watch on your phone, you earn Lino as you're watching, and you get these little treasure chests that you open, and it gives you Lino points. And I really enjoy this platform. So sign up, give me a follow. You don't really have to spend any money. You just get Lino points just by like watching and stuff like that. It's not a big deal. And I'm going to do a full review on DLive after a little bit, because I did lock some Lino points and I'm sort of staking with them, and I did get some rewards from that. I'd like to talk about like how much those rewards are after a bit. So I'll probably make that in the next coming days or something like that, like a DLive. But if you want to check out my live streams, give me a follow on there. That link for DLive will be in the description below. So click that; it'll send you to DLive. Make an account. Give me a follow. I appreciate it. Moving on to CoinMarketCap here real quick. We are at a $176 billion market cap. We are still around that 5,000 mark. So a little bit ago, we actually dipped below 5,000 to 4,900. That gave me a little bit of a scare. I thought we were going to keep going down. I thought it was going to be the beginning of the dump of that sort of whale purchase, extreme price rise earlier. But so far, that has just not happened. And we have been hovering at 5,000 for quite a while. So this is pretty good. So we were at 3,800 not that long ago. Then we moved to 4,100, and it didn't dump for once. And everybody was kind of a little on edge, and then it goes to 5,000. And now we're sticking around 5,000 to 5,100. So things are looking pretty good overall for crypto. I think we are finally out of that bear market, and we're sort of in an uncertain bull market, if that's even a thing. I just made it up. It's not. But it's sort of an uncertain market right now, and we're sort of in the phase of moving into a bull market. You could argue that we already are, but I think everything's a little bit uncertain right now. You could see these dips and rises a little bit where nobody's a little certain if they want to keep buying in at these prices or not. So things are looking pretty good in there. So what I recommend, again, of course, is just like a DCA investment, just every time you get paid 20, 30, 50 bucks into Bitcoin, something like that. Nothing that breaks the bank. And that way you don't have to worry about the price. If it's 5,100, you buy 50 bucks. If it's 4,800, you buy 50 bucks. It doesn't really matter. And that way you're always accumulating, because it's not going to matter. If Bitcoin goes to 20,000, 30,000, anything like that higher, the difference between 5,100 and 4,800 or even 4,000 is not is just not much in the long run. So don't worry about the price when you buy in. Just DCA cost and just a little bit every time you get paid. But that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, it helps me out a lot. My social media in the description below. Follow me on those if you get the opportunity to do so. But hope you guys enjoyed it. And as usual, I'll see you guys next time.